Hi, it's Angela. It is late on Friday night, and I'll probably publish this video sometime during the day on Saturday, maybe while I'm at the Whole Foods protest, but it's been a really long and difficult day. Just a number of kind of shit things happening for my business. I'm behind on my volunteer work for Indivisible, and covering a number of hard stories today. News of a former police officer in Gresham, Oregon, who has been charged with horrible crimes against children, who is currently on the run. He escaped custody. And then also talking about teen pregnancy in the United States. And those are just subjects that are they're really hard to talk about, right? I realize that living in the United States right now is just daily trauma. If we are educated and informed, we are being traumatized on a daily basis. And for me, to keep this work sustainable and to not just get really demoralized and down and feel despondent about the state of humanity, I definitely follow the advice of Mr. Rogers, which is when hard things happen that you look for the helpers. So I'm always trying to lean into stories of good people doing good things. And then there's this other element as well, which is I try and tap into myself and what are the good things that I'm capable of doing? What kind of art am I capable of creating? What kind of beauty am I capable of creating? What kinds of good things are happening for me? And what kinds of good things am I helping bring about? And I try and focus on that. So I didn't have time for art today. I didn't have time to read about the good things that other people are doing in particular, but I did have some good things happen for me this morning. And so I thought I'd share with you. As many of you know, I'm working on putting in a garden studio in my backyard and making huge changes to my garden, ripping up, huge sections of my garden. This is some of my initial ripping up of the garden beds. I'm taking out the bottles and logs that form the bed perimeters, and then I'm also trying to save perennials. You can see where I'm pulling up weeds or plants that I'm gonna put in the compost bin versus ones I'm saving in a separate bucket to get planted elsewhere in the garden. This took about 6 hours of yard work to totally remove the annual veggie beds and the herbaceous perennials. And then there also were the fruit trees and the shrubs as well. It's really bittersweet for me because I'm having to rip up plants that I grafted from a little whip where I started from seed 15, 17 years ago. But you know what? Through chaos comes positive change,
Okay,
right?
wow. While I was getting a Substack post finished, the concrete guys have made significant progress in leveling and tamping down the foundation for my she shed. You can see where the structure is going to go itself, and then I think they're going to do like a little berm out here so I can have almost a bit of a deck. Obviously a good move for me to remove those blue glass bottles, because you can see this was all path. I'm gonna have to now move the path over quite a bit. My contractor said, I don't think you're gonna have to move this tree peony, but I think I will, probably after it's done blooming. I love this tree peony. It's a really simple one. There are far fancier varieties, but like some Ito tree peonies, but this is just one of my favorite parts of my rain garden. So I'll be shifting all of this down, compressing it, because now my path is gonna have to go here. And then I'm gonna also move this rhubarb, and some of my path will go down this way. You can tell it's been quite rainy, which I think has been an advantage for the contractors because now the ground is a little softer and easier to work through. Yeah, that is some significant progress just from a few hours work this morning. Let me take you down here and show you what it looks like. I moved the stepping stones out of the rain garden here because I knew I was going to have to make some big changes in this area. So this is supposed to be a path through here. And I guess if I kind of move it over a little bit, it'll go straight to the front door of my new garden studio. It'll have French doors on it so that the workspace can open up into the garden itself. I believe there's going to be windows on the back, which right now will look directly into this pear tree, which I haven't taken out yet. I'm trying to decide if I want to take it out. I love my suckle pear, so I'm really loath to do that, but if I have to, I will. But wow, going to be a significant change in my garden. Sorry, I'm huffing and puffing a little bit. I'm a little bit overwhelmed with how different the garden looks with this here. All these trees gone and shrubs gone. And now there's going to be this big structure, which is just a huge disturbance, but such an opportunity for me to make some significant improvements and then also to get a workspace. So we'll see if the concrete guys let me do a little time lapse on them later today, and then I'll be back with updates real soon. So this morning, my concrete contractor, Blake, came and poured the foundation, and it's starting to feel like, oh my gosh, we're actually getting somewhere. It's not just ripped up plants and piles of dirt, but actually something is taking shape. And that felt really, really good. And I want to say thank you to Blake, who let me record the process of him pouring the foundation. It's got a cure, I think. And then my contractor, Scott, is going to start on the actual studio itself. Morning.
So I spent quite a bit of time in the garden this morning with my eldest kid, Ruth. We were watching them pour and we were chatting actually about Doctor Who. We had a really long conversation about Doctor Who as I was standing there filming. And I don't know if any of that will come through on the audio. I'm going to share a bunch of clips with you in a second.
Yes, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, but I think like 10th Doctor and even 9th Doctor had some like horror elements and some scary, but they balanced it with the silliness and the humor.
They also were done better, and
people don't want to watch Doctor Who to get dragged down.
Everyone's sad and it's scary, or he's in the backwards or whatever. It's not like that icon.
Yeah.
Like in the literal sense.
I agree with you.
Icon.
I agree with you. I think also too that one of the things I love best about the bad guys from Doctor Who is that like they're such good stand-ins for real bad guys because they're.
I am so grateful to be able to have saved pennies from all of y'all's support in watching my videos last year, all of the ad revenue that I made, people who were willing to support me on Patreon, and by becoming YouTube members, people who tipped me and hit the thanks button over the last year. I scrimped and I saved because I knew I wanted to put in this garden studio. And so the reason that I'm able to make these improvements in my channel and make these improvements in my work, create a dedicated workspace instead of my office being on my bed. I'm sitting on my bed in my tiny house with bad acoustics and lots of disruptions. I'm going to be able to have a dedicated workspace. That's going to enable me to make some real significant improvements for y'all. That is only happening because you watched my videos. You were willing to watch without an ad blocker. You were willing to not click through the ads. You were willing to tip me, $1 or $3 here. I'm so, so grateful to the people who are willing to become patrons or members. Like y'all are making this happen. So thank you. You were part of this process. No way I could have afforded it without y'all. I'm also super grateful. People said like, do a GoFundMe and we will help you put this together. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I want there to be worthwhile content that you all enjoy. And just by watching that, I'm able to budget and save and do a project like this. I'm so grateful to have a skilled contractor who is able to do the foundation for me. I'm very handy. I've put together shed kits from Costco with the help of my husband and kids. We've built sheds in the backyard. I've fixed everything around the house because I couldn't afford to hire somebody in the past. So to be in a position where I could have a really good contractor and a really good concrete contractor help this project come together for me, I would never be able to do this work and also run this YouTube channel and also think about expanding my business and also take care of my kids. Like I couldn't do all, and also organize with local grassroots activism. Like there's no way I could do all of that at once. So to be able to have people who are really good at their jobs, be able to do their jobs and help me do my job, I'm just so grateful. So standing out in the garden today, we're listening to the birds. It's beautiful. It feels like springtime. Things are in bloom. My allergies are raging, but my kid and I had a great conversation and we watched the first parts of this shed come together and it felt really, really good.
Okie dokie. Here we are, end of the day. Blake is done. I didn't want to bother him while he was getting everything leveled out. Wow. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie here. I did leave a lot up to my contractor. I said if he could do a little lip out at the front, that would be fine. So I can have a place to put a chair if I want to work outside. It does mean now, right, like here is, here's the edge of my rain garden. So all of this has to go. All of this has to go. And then I imagine this will become the new edge of my rain garden. There's a peony blossom. It rained really hard, so my peonies are now kind of looking a little, tree peonies are looking a little sad. Wow, I'm so pleased. I'm so grateful that y'all have been supporting my work for the last year, and that I can be in a position where I can start to create a real studio workspace and have somewhere to work. Never thought that I would be able to do something like this, so thank you.
Maybe I'll talk for a minute here about what my plans are going forward. I've had some big disappointments, business disappointments today. That's a little bit of vague booking on YouTube, a little bit of hinting there, not telling you what I'm going to reveal over the next several weeks. I have a series of vlogs coming out, and I've not concluded those vlogs yet. I don't know how that process is going to pan out, but I got a really big setback today. So when the whole series of vlogs publish, you'll be able to see what ultimately happens. I don't want to spoil any of it right now, but some really difficult news today. And so I'm thinking more about how do I utilize the studio space and what are some of the other avenues I could use for expanding my business if this one pathway that I'm exploring ends up closing to me, right? If that gets closed, what else can I lean into? And I'm really thinking about how to use the studio space to maybe do some podcasting. There are some topics that I'm thinking of doing. I was asking my patrons, this one here, hint, hint, and this one here, I'm thinking about doing some podcasts on intentional living, and particularly about communal living, the history of the Albion Nation communes in California, and also what it looks like to have an intentional community that's not based around kind of a religious or spiritual ideology, but is simply wanting to have respect for human rights, right? Wanting to embrace our humanity, our empathy, our compassion, our permaculture ethics of earth care, people care, and fair share. What does that look like? So having a space where I could have soundproofing and have real microphones set up, have guests come on and do a podcast. I don't care if like 8 people listen to it. I'm really interested in that right now. So I think all of my regular YouTube content and Substack content will be created in that space. But gosh, what else can I do? People have been asking for a long time if my adult daughters would do a podcast with me where we just yap. Maybe that could happen in that space, right? All kinds of possibilities opening up. So thank you to everybody who's been willing to watch my videos and support my work over the last year and has helped me be able to save for this project. I'm really grateful. And again, if you have ideas for what colors I should paint the walls on the inside, if you have ideas for what I should name this kind of garden studio, it's really like it's like a shed, you guys. It's a non-permitted shed, small shed structure. It's going to be 180 square feet. It might be a little bit smaller than that, actually, like 160. I would love your input. I would love to know if you have ideas for how I can utilize that space. What should I do with that space in order to help serve the needs of my audience and create meaningful content or art or, writing or whatever you think I should do with it. I think I will leave it there for tonight. I'm already feeling better. After when I hit record on this video, I was feeling quite down in the dumps. And sometimes it's good to just reflect on positive things that happen. Sometimes it's really good to just take a few moments and remember that not everything is terrible. There are moments of beauty and good and positive change happening all around us. Small, tiny micro levels in our own gardens and our own lives. And then also on a societal level, I think there's tons of good things. Maybe for the rest of the weekend, I will try and focus on some more positive stories because I think we all could use them. Things feel really difficult right now. And I think we all could use some factual, positive stories. So that will be my promise to y'all. I will intentionally try and search up more of those and share them over the next few days. But I will leave it there for now. It's like 9:00 at night and I haven't had any dinner yet. And my husband and my third kid are off at a Magic the Gathering tournament. They'll probably be there till close to midnight. But I have some other kids at home and I don't know what they're up to. Maybe we could watch the latest episode of Folding Ideas together tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for continually watching my videos and listening to me yap on YouTube. And thank you for supporting the work that I do. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe. Subscribing is the number one way that you can support. If you want to see my garden studio take shape, if you want to see me do a podcast with my adult daughters, if you want to see me talk about the history of the Northern California communes, if you want to see me spinning on my spinning, whatever you want me to do, the best way that you can help me bring those things into reality is to click subscribe. And then maybe I'll get this channel to 500,000 here in the next couple of weeks. That would be awesome. So, All right, I will leave it there. Yeah, folding ideas, I think, for tonight. I think that's what I'm going to do. Round up a couple of kids and say, let's sit down and watch some bread tube. So I hope you all have a good night, and I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. I will let you know how the protest at Whole Foods goes tomorrow, and hopefully lots of other positive stories as well. Okay.